All right, so I'm going to reverse this Chinese symbol. So the first thing I have to do is make it bleed through the paper so it's backwards. So I'm going to outline it in Sharpie because Sharpie bleeds through paper because it's alcohol based. Like rubbing alcohol. So that's why it smells funny. Okay, so you don't want to have that out under your nose too long. Now when I flip it over, I can see this image here, and I have foam. So that, if you push on it, you can dent into the foam. So I'm going to take some tape here. I'm going to put it in the corner so I have plenty of room for my Chinese animal that's going to be a snake. Maybe I'll put a little on the bottom here. This is sticking up. Now I'm going to take a ballpoint pen that's pointy. I don't want to do that with a Sharpie. That's going to get rid of the point of the Sharpie. Then it will become a dolly. I'm going to push hard and really smoosh into that foam. And now I have a backwards symbol, and it will print forwards because printing is like a mirror. When you look in the mirror and you have letters on your t-shirt, you'll notice you can't read them quite as easily because they are mirrored. They're backwards. Now, when I pull this up, there are dents. If you can see these, if I move the foam around. I'm going to come around the dents. I can even place this symbol next to it so I can see if I'm being accurate as I go. Oop, I forgot this little point right here. So this says snake, so I'm going to have to draw a snake, of course. But I want to do it on paper with a pencil because foam is more expensive than paper, and if we make our foam messed up, then that's it. So I'm going to come around and trace around my letters because they look better. They look like a Chinese brush painting if I trace around my letters again and thicken them up. So I'm coming around and then filling in, coming around, filling in, around, fill, and then around this loop. Now, on my paper, because I want to start with paper, I don't want to mess up this beautiful foam, I'm going to draw my snake. Let's give him a nice underbelly too. And I'd like him to have a pattern on his back. Let's see. We need a nostril or two. There we go. I want him to have buggy eyes. There we go. All right. So now I'm going to try to make sure I'm not getting in the way of this symbol. I'm going to tape this paper on here. And snakes can't really be backwards because they're not a letter like a Chinese symbol is. So I don't have to reverse the image. I can just keep it forwards. It doesn't really matter which way my snake looks. I'm going to come over and trace over my animal. And this makes your hand pretty tired because you have to push kind of hard, and it makes a kind of a crunching noise on the paper, and you know your paper might even fall apart by the end. I'm going to change my eyes. I want them to look to the side. Side eye. Okay, so I'm going to continue going around. Almost done with the belly. Now the spots. Oh, 2 more. Then I'm going to take off the tape and check my dents. Hopefully I made some good dents. Oh, I can see them. Okay. And I can even look at this side by side like I did last time. Oops, I want to be gentle with that foam. I don't want to rip it because it's expensive. Now I don't really have to think so hard about what I drew because I can see it. It's pressed into my foam here. Let's get to the belly. Oh, you know what? I'm going to add a tongue. Haha. There we go. He needs a tongue. And I can feel these grooves with my finger. It feels really neat. I'm digging the pen into the surface. Oops, I added an extra spot. There we go. That's okay. All right. Then once you're finished with this, you can thicken the lines if you want, make it look fancy, add shading, all kinds of things. But to keep it simple, I'm going to cut out my Chinese symbol. I want it to be kind of square here. And then I can rearrange these pieces however I want. Maybe I'll center this. I want to round out around my snake. I think that'll look better. Maybe an oval around my snake. I'll pick a shape that I like. I want to dip into my oval. Maybe like a peanut more. There. And then I'm going to add glue, and usually for collage and things I'm saying don't do too much glue. You don't want it to squish out the side, otherwise you have to go get yourself a paper towel. But you need a little more glue than you would just a piece of paper, because you don't want this to come off while you're printing and rolling the brayer over it. So that is how you make your printing plate.